What's up, YouTube? It's Ben with Underrated Garage. I'm working on my 370Z today because I'm going to show you guys how to make some good power from your VQ with just a few simple mods.
That was insane.
Let me show you what I picked up that's going to be giving us these gains today. This is Admintuned's performance package. It includes his 3-inch cold air intakes, an EcuTech phone flash so he can remote tune the car, and a PCV open breather kit to go with the intakes. I'm going to remove the strut bar, the engine cover, and then we'll take these factory intakes and air boxes off that we're going to be getting rid of for them spicy 3-inch intakes. So I forgot that because they're 2-piece engine covers, you can actually just take the front half off. If you're using this as a how-to, that was 8 14-millimeter bolts on the strut bar and just 2 10-millimeter bolts to get the front half of the engine cover off. All you need is a 10-millimeter ratchet or wrench, a pair of pliers, and a flathead screwdriver to take these factory intakes off. So the screwdriver is for these clamps on both ends of the accordion pipe. Pliers, you could use it for getting this harness for the MAF sensor out of that little place, and then taking the actual clip off the MAF sensor. There's this little tube that needs to come off. So that little plastic piece there is going to be getting deleted anyway. But look at this. So that's the accordion pipe off there. And then just 1 10-millimeter on the edge holds the air box down. Take that off. Then it pops out of little rubber grommets it fits into. Straight up. Like that. Now the air box is out. I don't know if they all have this, but that weird thing can come off too. So now that the factory intakes and air boxes are out, we're going to work on installing the Admin PCV breather kit. I'm just going to show you exactly what I had to do. So you take the hose clamp here with pliers, hose clamp here on the PCV valve, and then this one on the valve cover back here to remove these 2 factory hoses. And then you replace it with a cap back there on the valve cover, cap there on the intake, and then this hose goes right from the PCV valve to an air filter. And normally there's a bracket that goes here, but because I'm running the front engine cover, it's just going to hide under the engine cover like that. I had to kind of shorten the hoses a little bit and tuck the filters down here so that I can still run this stock cover. If you're not running an engine cover, it's simpler, and he included these little adapters that go right on here and hold them in place. All right, I've got a little helper joining me now. Kaylee's here. She's about to help me take the bumper off because that's our next step to start installing these 3-inch intakes. Oh, yeah, boy. Then you have to take these little air dams that go out through the core support. There's 1 10-millimeter, a clip down here, and then there was a harness clip to it over here. That was on the passenger side. Now I'm going to do the driver's side one. That clip popped out. Then you kind of just wiggle it out, and there it goes. As you can see down here, these are the pass-through holes for air through the core support. Those have to be opened up considerably. Now we're taking this top piece off just to get a little better access to it. If you really want to go crazy, you could take the whole headlight off to get access to it. So now the shop lights are on and the headlights are off. Time to start cutting this thing up so I can fit these massive intakes. I went ahead and I finished up the driver's side, and then I can walk you through the other side step by step. So I opened up the hole there. The only thing that's different side to side is these AC lines are here. So you have to remove this big bracket and kind of push them out of the way a little bit. Let me start with this. Because of the awkward angles in there, I don't know exactly if I could get the Dremel in. I'm going to use this, finish those cuts off, and then see where I'm at and start mocking up the intake pipe. I did move this out of the way a little bit. You got to be careful around the washer bottle. Now you can see that's a much wider hole, and I can start test fitting. It is being pinched, so instead of trying to shave the metal section at all, I'm just going to go a little further on this side. See, it's just a pretty big open hole, and this slides right in with no pinching. I'm going to file the sides just so they don't have any sharp edges. Setting up the intakes. First thing is to put the coupler on the throttle body. Should be pretty obvious, but make sure you put the smaller side on the throttle body. There is smaller couplers for that side too. Next coupler can sit loosely right there. I believe you have to move these wiring harnesses out of the way to get the intake pipe to sit where it needs to. So these two harnesses, you have to pop the clip off and pop these two clips out because they're directly in the way of where this intake tube on this side goes. They kind of have to go underneath the intake setup. So I'm going to zip tie them out of the way over here. I'm going to get that soft pipe, but first I'm going to take the mass airflow sensor out of my stock accordion hoses and put it in over here. Two little bolts. I just used the Phillips head screwdriver to get them out. And when you get these out, you don't want to put them back in without cleaning them. Use some mass airflow sensor cleaner. And the inlet for the air is this hole in the one side. You kind of just spray some in there. And you just give it a few minutes and it'll air dry itself. Okay, so you can put the airflow sensor in with the hole facing front of the car. Slides right in nicely. Two bolts in there. Put that right on. And then this kind of can just get tucked out of the way down there. Now the soft pipe can go on. You can tighten all the clamps down after. We're kind of doing mock-up right now, so take this 90-degree aluminum pipe. All right, so the other side is all tightened up. These 3-inch intakes are officially installed on the car. Before I start putting the body of the car back together, I just wanted to show you one extra piece that I picked up. Just putting little pre-filters on. A lot of different brands make them. Just make sure you get the right measurements. They're hydrophobic, so like water can't really get in and soak the air filters as much. And then they also repel extra dust, bugs, whatever it may be. Because they're a little bit bigger, I'm going to zip tie them on the ends. Now we can get this car back together. Headlights, bumper, strut bar, everything's bolted back up. It did make putting things back together even harder having those 3-inch intakes there. I mean, they really are big and kind of get in the way of things, but you kind of just have to be patient, have some finesse with it. It's all back together now. When you do 3-inch intakes on the car, you can't even run and drive it as is. You need a tune to make up for the much bigger diameter around the MAFs and just going into the intakes in general. So that's next up. I'll get back to you guys tomorrow.
It's the next morning after installing the 3-inch admin intakes. And before I go to work, I have to hook this up so that Monsef, aka Admin Tuning, can send me a base map Back when I got my 350 tuned by Admin, I had to bring my laptop with me, but now it's simple with the phone flash. You get the dongle, you do it all right through your app on your phone, ECU Connect.
Sorry for all the cuts. It's actually the next day, now fully admin tuned. I didn't record the process only because, one, your tuner, hopefully admin, will explain the process to you. It's not very hard to do at all, especially with this phone flash. And EcuTech has good videos on like how to set this up. Now that it's all fully tuned, I will go over some of the features with you. So to switch maps, it's as simple as you hold this cancel button. You can see that just went up to the 1, and then you go up on this cruise control button, goes to 2, 3, 4, depending on what map you want to select. I'm gonna stay at 1, and you'll see after I let it sit for a second, it goes back down to the actual RPMs of the car. So what the maps are, 1 is regular race mode. You can do drag racing, road course racing, or drifting in that mode, and that's where you get your good power. 2 is like your flame, pops, bangs, that map. 3 is, I don't know exactly what he remaps. It's supposed to be a little better on fuel. Maybe if you're going on a road trip, you want ideal fuel economy, you can go in mode 3. Or 4 is for security. If you put it in mode 4, if someone tries to hotwire your shit or whatever they try to do, the car will not start. Now I'm gonna get some chest cam footage for you guys. All right, guys, so we're about to go on map 2 for the first time. Flames and bangs tune. Goddamn. Oh! What? Yo! That shit was just the AK! Guys, that was insane. I hope you could hear all that. The car feels great, which I expected. The 3-inch intakes and the tune, it really woke this thing up. I actually notice a really big difference now. After I shift, all the power is still there. Like, you're not dropping out of the power. It just wants to keep going and going. A lot of fun. The red line is higher. I've got launch control. I've got burnout mode, flames, everything I could want. I'm gonna try to get a decent video for you guys of some flame action before we call it a night. Holy shit, I just did that standing outside of the car with my foot inside on the gas pedal. That was insane. Really recommend you guys put some 3-inch intakes on your car and get a tune. It's gonna make it run better all around, all across the RPM range. This is a lot of fun. All I've done was a little bit of testing tonight. I'm gonna be bringing this to the track. I'm gonna be bringing this to the drag strip. I'm very happy. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely like the video, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and catch you guys soon with more content.